It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we're on the road to the Super Bowl. Another step towards the Super Bowl begins. We're off in the first of 4 divisional round games. Xavier Gipson now to return. And great starting field position here as they bring him down beyond the 40.
Special teams always play an important role in ball games, and it does right here from the jump. That's going to give the offense terrific field position for this opening drive.
Rodgers throwing to start it off. That's caught. It's Breece Hall. And he gets absolutely popped to end that one.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for on first down. Textbook. It sets up second and very manageable, and then creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
Here's Breece Hall on the ground for the first time.
What was supposed to move the chains or at least make third down easier to handle instead? Well, did the exact opposite here, Kate. It now makes this third down a whole lot trickier to figure out.
Rodgers throwing on third down. That's caught for the first. Fought off a tackle, but he lost the football. But it bounces out of bounds, so they'll retain possession. Give him 30 yards on that one. And it'll give the Jets a first down. To throw is Rodgers. Got a man, it's Marvin Mims. And they have this down to the 11 before being marked down. Give him 13 on that play. And it's good enough for a New York first down. Working inside the red zone. Couldn't connect right side. It's incomplete.
That is normally a gimme for this offense, these short throws. But the defense, well, they had just enough influence on that play to force the incompletion.
They'll throw again. Rodgers. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And that pushes them back. Third down coming up.
All right, first sack on the board on the first drive as a defense. And now, well, now we let the chess match begin. The adjustments begin. Because we know pressure leads to sacks. And sacks in this league often leads to wins.
He couldn't hang on, Brock. It looked like a touchdown, but it slips right through his hands. And now it's fourth down. Greg Zuerlein going to try to knock this through for the Jets. This is going to be a 38-yarder from the right hash. Bass's kick is good. And the opening drive of the game ends in 3 points.
I never saw a play script that ended with a field goal. It was always a touchdown that you wanted. But that's 3 points, and it's enough to give them the lead.
And that one bounces through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30.
21, 20. Omaha. Touch.
Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. And he finally ends up out of bounds after a huge gain. It's a huge pickup on the play. And that's a Vegas first down.
Omaha.
Back to the well again. He locates a couple of yards through that chaos. That was Jermaine Johnson there to make the play. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
Here we go, get set.
Tight end going in motion here.
Not.
From the 23. Forced out to his right. Cut near the goal line. He has the touchdown. It seems like a lot of the time, Brock, even if the results aren't quite as flashy every rep, tight ends are even more reliable scorers than a lot of receivers are when it comes to the passing game.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but there's also a lot more real estate for them to work with, right? Think of the receivers. They got to deal with the sidelines, that 12th defender. Many of these tight ends, they've got a ton of field to work with, and when they prove to the quarterback they can be a difference maker, he'll look for them.
Gibson now to return. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Rodgers here from the gun. He's got time here. Ooh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. 2nd down coming up. Looking for his wide receiver there. So it's 2nd down coming up. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. Short pass brought in. And he'll go down, and we'll say right at the 39-yard line.
Quarterbacks will look for their tight ends short in just about any situation. They take away the deeper options. Well, there's their consistent source of positive yardage, the trusty tight end.
3rd and 1, now Rodgers. Buys time, rolling right. Got to him right as he threw it, and it falls to the ground. Devontae Adams, the intended target. So it's going to be 4th and short.
You know, these 3rd and short situations, you rep them all the time. Snap after snap, rep after rep. You're expecting man-to-man coverage in that down and distance, and you're expecting to execute. That time on 3rd and short, they can't get the job done.
They'll run for it with Hall. And he's going to bring it up to the 40-yard line before he stopped. Only 1 yard, but when all you need is an inch or two, Brock, that'll still move the chains. New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Going to the ground again on 1st. And he's going to get this up to the 45 before he's brought down. Halfway there on 1st down, that brings up 2nd and 5.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
Play action with Rodgers. Dumps it off to his running back. And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line.
Some certainly do it better than others, Kate, but every running back in the league today has got to do just that. You cannot be a one-dimensional back in the league anymore. You can't. You got to be able to handle your business, both toting the ball as a runner, and really importantly as a check-down outlet on short throws.
And he's officially into enemy territory now. They're going to give him the opposing 49. It's a gain of 4 there, and it'll give the Jets a 1st down. A give left side for Hall. Has a lane inside the 35. And he's finally brought down at the 33. It's a great pickup, 16 yards, and now they've got 1st down.
You know, Kate, if you notice those guys that love to feed themselves on the field, right? They love to just get more and more. They're hungry for even more. I'll tell you what, that tackle, it prevented something that's going to be a lot bigger, but that back remains hungry.
1st down, and they go right back to him. Jukes one defender, and they bring him down at the 18-yard line. He picks up 15 on the play, and it's good enough for a New York 1st down. From the red zone now. On the move, headed right. He brings it in. And he'll be taken down at the last possible moment. He's at the 1. Give him about 16 yards on that gain, Brock, and it sets him up with 1st and goal.
Good offenses. Okay, good play callers know how to utilize their personnel. They know where they wanted him. They wanted him in a route in space where he could make that initial play comfortably, but then go to work after.
From the shotgun, Rodgers. The back's got it. And he gets back to the line, but no more. Offense in the hurry up here. Hall can't fight past that line. They stop him at the 3.
I know from the position of the quarterback, Kate, sometimes you hand that ball, you put it in the belly of the running back, and you send him right into the teeth of a buzzsaw. You can feel it from the jump, and that call from the defense, well, it came at the perfect time.
Now Rodgers on 3rd and goal. And he's going to take this across. Touchdown, New York. The Jets hold a slim 2-point lead early. Point after converted by Zerline. And the Jets push their lead to 3. Zerline has it all teed up and ready to send it away. And the kickoff is into and then out of the end zone. Touchback. This drive starting from the 30. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Trying the right side.
Well, that doesn't net a 1st down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
So that's the end of one in this AFC divisional round contest. Just a field goal separates these two. We'll return to Allegiant Stadium right after this. Time now for the second quarter. Raiders in possession.
11.
They're looking at second and pretty short.
21.
Lone back in the backfield, and he gets the handoff. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
That's certainly a spot where you could be more aggressive, Kate, if you wanted to take your shots. But some coaches, even the bolder ones, will take the safe play first when they get it from time to time. No 3rd down required now.
He puts some juice on it. Cut at the 20-yard line. And he gets this forward to the 19. How about a big hitter? 30, 40 yards there and a new set of downs.
You know by now, Kate, what I call that. That's that car wash ball. Just come to life. That's when you throw that ball right through that car wash and you throw it with such velo, it doesn't get wet. And to do it with that kind of accuracy down the field, this dude's elite.
They read that screen perfectly. Interception. The 50. 30. Gets the 10. And it's a pick 6 as he runs it in for the touchdown. That play, Brock, that play was beautiful. Not just making the interception, but then seeing the return slowly come together in front of him as he took it all the way to the house.
Yeah, I think even for us up here in the booth, it looked like a scene out of a movie, didn't it? Starts running it back, scans the field for a lane, then the blocks come just in the nick of time to wipe out the would-be tacklers, and he's got open space and nothing but the end zone in front of him.
Well, Brock, hopefully some short memories on offense as they get it right back here on the kickoff after that pick 6. And it bounces out of the end zone, so they'll set up shop at the 30. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10.
Set. Here's that.
Lone back in the backfield, and they give it to him. And he's able to manage a couple on that run.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
Omaha, set. 12. Here's that.
Another carry for him. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
That's the type of call that offensively, man, it just builds so much confidence. I don't even think they were looking to get the 1st down. Just get to a manageable 3rd down, but instead they move the chains, and that is one disheartening look on that defense.
He's forward, gets a couple of yards. Ashton Davis there on the stop. Only 2 yards, and it brings up 2nd and 8.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
Here we go, get set.
Finds a man right side. And that is a touchdown! The Raiders reduce the lead to just 4. It's a Stephon Diggs touchdown. Kicking team out to try the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Raiders cut it to a field goal game. Volley set up, and it's away. Just a 3-point game now. Gibson now to return. Finds some space. He's past the 30. This return makes it up to the 37 as he's tackled. Nice field position for the Jets as they come up 1st and 10. Now Rodgers finds his target Hall. He gets it forward for a gain of 3. Nate Hobbs in on that stop.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I'll get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason, where one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a profit. Go get a completion. They're at a premium in this league.
And he's not going to get much. A modest gain at best to the 41. Just 1 yard on the play, though. That leaves him with 3rd down and 6 to go. Now here's Rodgers. He has the first over the middle. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They got 24 yards on the play. And it'll give the Jets a 1st down.
Every time I see one of those angle routes, I think back to my day 1 install. Rookie minicamp in the NFL. Texas, angle route. 49ers of the 80s, they were making hay with it then, and the running back's still doing it to this day.
And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Nate Hobbs in on that stop.
When there's heat, that blitz coming off the snap, that QB's eyes, you could see it right away. He got to his check down in a hurry. But, Kate, here's the key. Quarterback and running back have to be on the same page. The two were right there, and it netted some positive yards.
And he just got it away before the hit, but the pass winds up incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down. Again, Rodgers. He's got it to him yet again, and that one is caught. And they stop him. He's marked down along that 18-yard line. It's a pickup of 11. And it's good enough for a New York 1st down. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. And he pushes it further into the red zone, down inside the 15. A nice 6-yard pickup. They're going to have 2nd and 4. So it's the 2-minute warning here from Allegiant. The Jets trying to add to their lead. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Here's Rodgers. Getting out to his left. And this one doesn't go far. And now the Raiders call for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. Rodgers will look to throw. This throw is caught. And it looks like he went out of bounds right at that 7-yard line. A gain of 5, Brock, and now they're going to have 1st and goal.
Hey, Kate, they don't rightly care who it's going to go to in that situation. All they really care about are the results on 3rd down. And that's exactly the result they needed. Enough to...
And he will take it in. Touchdown, New York. The Jets grow their lead just before halftime. Breece Hall with the touchdown. Zerline with the extra point. And the Jets make it a 10-point ball game. Zerline has it all teed up and ready to send it away. And no return as this bounces through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30.
Omaha, set. Here we go. 11, 11. 21, 21, 21. Hot.
Operating from the gun, it's Jones. Digs there to bring it in. And he does quite a bit of damage before they finally take him down.
Man, I love that effort, adding as much as possible to that catch while earning the first down. That's called yards after catch, and it's what coaches want from all their pass catchers on the roster.
Completed over the middle. And he gets this down to the 13-yard line. Raiders moving quickly, trying to get set as the clock continues to run. On first down, they'll run. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
This offense will take that from their ground game every time. But I know, because I've been around this league a long time, runs like that, they're really hard to come by. It takes everybody, and maybe a little breakdown there on defense, too, to take advantage of.
Oh, he gets clobbered behind the line.
You know, when receivers have room to operate, that's a play that can totally gash a defense. But, Kate, when you get down here in the red zone, it becomes so much tougher because you have a whole lot less space. And, in fact, you'll see defenses swarm like that one just did.
Going the wrong way. It's second and goal now, back at the 12.
Here we go, get set. Here we go, 11, 11. 21, 21, 21. 11, 11.
Pistol now for Jones. The shot to the end zone is incomplete.
Quarterbacks, well, they're a lot like sharpshooters in the NBA. Sometimes they're just going to miss. You got to shake it off and keep on firing.
Buckle up. It's third and goal.
12, 12, 12. Set. Here's that.
Blitz coming for Jones. Setting up the running back screen. And they'll get this down nearly to the end zone. Instead, stopped at the 2. Now, just before the break, a timeout taken by the offense, and they can try for some points going into the break. With only 3 seconds remaining, they're going to bring out that field goal unit. This is a chip shot from the left hash. And it is good. No problems there on the shorter attempt. We've reached the midway point of this contest. 2 quarters down and an exciting 2 to go. The NFL on EA Sports returns after this. Back from the break, I'm Kate Scott, joined by Brock Heward, and we are just moments away from the beginning of our second half. Half the battle complete, Brock, as we resume play here, a spot in our AFC Championship on the line. And we'll have to wait at least a few moments longer for an exciting start to this second half. We've got a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30.
Omaha, set. Here's that.
Lone back gets the handoff. And he won't get anything there. Several defenders nearby to hold him up. Call it no gain on that run, and they face second and 10.
Here we go, 11, 11. Here we go, 11, 11.
Play fake, Jones. It's incomplete. Should have been a catch downfield, but off his hands and to the ground it goes.
Well, that's a major missed opportunity for the offense and a sigh of relief for the defense. Now you got to adjust a little bit, get some extra help on the back end of your defense to take those shots away.
They motion the tight end over. Jones now on third down. Pass taken in by Diggs. And that will not be enough for a first down. And now the Raiders call for the first of their timeouts, as that'll leave them with just 2 to use the rest of the way. Offense staying out there. It's 4th and 1.
21. 11. Omaha. Sit high.
He'll throw it. And it's going to be incomplete. Couldn't connect to extend the drive. So the defense rises to the challenge and gives the ball back to their offense.
Even the best receivers, they've got occasional breaks in concentration. You just never want to see it happen. One of the most important snaps of the game. If we know anything about this guy, though, it's he'll be up for the challenge the next time the ball comes his way.
He gets a couple on first, and they'll come up 2nd and 8. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. And he let his man just a little too much there. That's an incomplete pass. This one intended for the running back. So they're left facing 3rd and long. Rodgers here from the gun. He goes back to him yet again. Complete. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. The big play nets him 17 yards. And it'll give the Jets a first down. Shotgun snap, a give to Hall. And he doesn't get this one very far, down to only about the 18. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8. To throw is Rodgers. Caught near the goal line. And he'll be taken down at the last possible moment. He's at the 1. That's a pickup of 17 yards, partner, and it makes it 1st and goal. He keeps it himself. And he's going to be marked down a yard shy of that marker.
You know, Kate, these are the situations in training camp that I love more than anything to watch. You learn so much about a football team in these goal-to-go situations. You know you got to protect that goal line, and the defense, well, they did the job on 1st down. More to come.
Hall does not get in. His push is stopped just short of that goal line.
Hey, as much as I love talking about these physical matchups, right now, this is psychological. This adds some layers to this 3rd down call. Do you try your hand at another run and hope it fares better? Tougher to go back to it again when it just gets stuffed.
They've held him out twice. Here we go. 3rd and goal.
Number 50. Hey, you block.
Hall's going to try to smash his way in. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
3rd and inches, and you hate to see that run go backwards. I just take myself back to a huddle, and you know you're imploring your guys, listen, just give us a little bit of a push, and we will move the sticks. Instead, well, the defense is energized with that stop. Well, that's why they spend all the time on the practice field during the week. That kind of operation. Perfect rhythm, perfect timing, and a 2 for 2 for this kicker.
And that one bounces through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30.
12, 12, 12. Here we go, get set. Set hut.
From the shotgun, it's Jones. Makes the grab in bounds, left side. And a massive hit at the end of that play. Oh, baby. But he hangs on through it. Still able to get that first down.
Here we go. 11. Hold on. Set.
Working from the gun. Here's Jones. Caught by Diggs. And he's short of the first after a mild gain. Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5.
21, 21, 21.
From the 43. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete.
See the pass, time up your hit, and jar that ball loose. Not a lot of players are hanging on through a well-placed hit like that one.
We've got a screen to the running back. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
This dude's just simply got a nose for the marker no matter how they get him the ball, Kate. Hand it to him, and he sniffs out that first down. Get it to him on a screen, and it's no different. He surges ahead and keeps this drive moving.
11, 11. Here's that.
They'll run it from the gun. And he'll be brought down here at the 23-yard line.
Here we go.
Moving quickly, trying to get set again.
11, 11. Here's that.
First down throw by Jones. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete.
Here we go.
And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
11, 11. Here we go. 11, 11. 12, 12, 12.
From the 19. Splits a couple of defenders and completes it. And he'll go down. Looks like they're marking him at the 11. That play goes for 8 yards, and it keeps this drive moving. The drive picks up here, 1st and 10.
21, 21. Here we go. Get that.
And there's a man there. It's intercepted. And the Jets have it as he records the first interception of his young career. They're out and set, 1st and 10. They'll start this one out with Hall. Juke the defender. And he flips the field for them before being taken down.
What an injection of momentum for the offense on that play. With the energy boost and a much shorter field, I predict it's not going to be long, Kate, till they finish this series off.
They go right back to Hall. And he's going to run this one well into the red zone to the 14. Pickup of 8 on the run, and that sets up 2nd and 2. Only 1 quarter left before we send one of these teams to the AFC title game. The Jets have it with a lead, looking to continue their postseason run. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. From the shotgun, Rodgers. And he doesn't see a window he likes, so he just got rid of that one. And then brings up 3rd down. Shotgun snap, they're going to throw. And it's incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
You know, Kate, my years in Indianapolis with Peyton, he loved to know the tendencies of a defense. And 3rd and short, more often than not, all across the league, you get man-to-man coverage. It really is a good time to throw. Unfortunately, couldn't execute that pass, and a 4th down instead.
Third down pass didn't work, but the offense staying out there on 4th. They'll go for it. Rodgers. That's incomplete on 4th down, and they'll turn over possession.
Certainly looking for that nail in the coffin, the knockout punch, a touchdown, and 3-possession lead that could put this one out of reach. Hey, it's a luxury they could afford to take in that spot. Built himself up a little buffer here, Kate, but it's never over till it's over.
Dumped off to his running back. What a hit! He gets flattened to the ground. A dose of the hurry-up offense here.
21. 11.
From the 17. Complete here to Bowers. And he'll get it out to the 34 before he's tracked down. That play good for 17 on a 1st down.
12. Omaha.
Operating from the gun, it's Jones. Toward the sideline, and he's got it. They strike for 23 yards. And that's good for a Raiders first.
Kate, when you watch the combine, you'll watch guys try to make this throw. And without chemistry, it's so hard to execute. That was picture perfect. That's a QB and receiver on the same page, because that route, that deep out to the field, that takes just a different level of connectedness.
11. Great time.
Jones on 1st down. Hits his running back. And he'll be brought down at about the 29. Offense up to the line fast.
12.
Again, Jones to the air. Oh, brother, it's another interception. And the Jets take possession. They're going to set up shop at the 22-yard line. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. They start the drive with Hall. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
Okay, this is why you got to be careful to just run it always on 1st down. You got to break your tendencies. The casual fan, well, that casual fan knew what was coming, but more importantly, this defensive front did too.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. And the cover just too good there. Didn't find a throw that he was confident in, so just throws it away. 3rd down coming up.
Those passes get more and more difficult as you try to get aggressive downfield. I love the call. I love pushing the ball down the field. But the windows in the throwing lanes aren't there long, and it only takes a little bit for a throw to be off.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Now Rodgers. That's caught for the 1st. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
I know the combine tries to test everything it possibly can physically, but I don't know how you test courage at the combine, because there's nobody defending you. Nobody wants to hit you. But that was the epitome of courage to make that in cut and make the catch.
Has him on the quick hitter. And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line.
The goal of that little drag route is to get him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. That picked up a good chunk, and it was nearly a big play.
Hit behind the line, and the ball is loose. And the Raiders get to it.
You're using this play to try for a 1st down, but also set up whatever in your back pocket for 3rd down. But you know what? Throw it all away. None of it matters now if you can't hang on to the doggone football. And the defense pounces on that one in a hurry.
Here we go, get set.
Motioning the tight end now.
Great time.
On 1st down, it's Jones to throw. And the 1st down pass sent away by a defender, incomplete. Could not beat the defender there. And it's going to be 2nd down.
Here we go, 11. Omaha, set.
Here's Jones to throw. And that was probably their last gasp. It's intercepted. Oh, now a lateral, and it's loose. And this, oh, he fumbles it. They might give it right back. And they get on top of it. Wow, nearly 2 turnovers on the same play, but it'll stay with them after the interception.
I think the defense would have just settled for getting off the field with the takeaway, but they add a nice little present onto the end of it for their teammates who start this possession with much better field position.
And as they bring him down, let's check the penalty flag. Well, partner, they say there's holding on every play. You just got to look for it, right? That time, though, we did not have to look too hard. Coming right is Hall. And he's taken down after gaining a couple. That's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. All right, here we go. Second down. Rodgers here from the gun. He intercepts it. That is exactly what they needed. And the Raiders have some new life in the fourth. Oh boy. They cleaned up the fumbling issues from the last drive, and now it's an interception that turns the ball over.
Yeah, and 2 very different tones and tenors on these 2 sidelines. One coach is pleading, begging for some ball security. The other is simply saying, keep it up, boys. Keep taking that ball away. Job well done.
The play clock ran all the way down there, and this is going to cost the offense. A little slow to operate the offense, and they're going to back it up as a result of that penalty. So they're going to take their shot now and making things a 1-score game. It's a deep shot for him from that left hash. Got all of it, and this is good. And it pulls them back within 1 score here in the fourth.
This is a case of, well, just get what you can on the way out the door, Kate. It's already out of reach. Just take the 3, let your kicker get some points, and make it a hair closer in the box score.
And just like that, we're back to a 1-possession ball game as the kickoff is away. Well, we knew it, Brock, and now they know it too. That one was on their defense. 1st and 10 from the 41. Hall running between the tackles. And all he can get is 1 yard. Ran that right into the defensive front. A timeout taken by Vegas. That's its 2nd. And they'll have just 1 left to burn now. They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Here's Hall once more. And in a rarity today, he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Now the Raiders using the last of their timeouts. And they'll take a moment to ponder what the call is going to be on 3rd down. He's back to throw. To the sideline, and Adams snags it. And they'll have it a little shy of